Hello, my name is Sherreccia Jackson. I'm the founder and president of Mission Hope Foundation. And I've had some time now to be able to kind of navigate through my emails in regards to my talk show, The Room. And I have most definitely been inundated with responses. But first, let me just say thank you for the viewer responses that I have received. I am humbled, and I can't say that enough of how your responses to me humbles me and allows me to know that the message that I am trying to create around job readiness for our next generation workforce is starting to move in a direction that people are beginning to hear and are beginning to be moved to action. So, thank you. So I want to respond to a viewer's question that they had in regards to how to prepare for an interview. The question came from Chicago, and this viewer was wanting to know they are nervous. They are always nervous, and they stumble over their words. And once they start stumbling over their words, they just get more nervous. Well, let me just speak to that for just a moment. The first off, thank you. Thank you for the courage to even ask that question of me. So, the one thing that often happens in interviews is that we really overthink and we become our own worst enemy in terms of ourselves. When a question is being asked to you from the interviewer, believe it or not, they are not this, aha, I got you. I want to trap you up. I want to make you stumble over your words. I want to make you feel absolutely horrible. That's not the point of the question. The point of the question is to get the information. So my best advice that I will give you is to become comfortable with your experience. And one way you can become comfortable with your experience is become familiar with what you are good at and what you have done at previous jobs. So, therefore, when that question comes up, you can always relate back to what your experience is. Take a breath. You're going to be nervous. Nobody's going to walk into an interview and just going to ace it. We all, quiet as it's kept, regardless to how awesome we may feel we are, all of us have that second thought or that second win or that nervousness. So that's going to happen. So let me just speak to when you start to stumbling over your words and you feel like everything is spouting out of control. Been there, done that. The first thing it is that I would recommend to you is to breathe. Stop and breathe. It's okay. It is okay to breathe. And remember that when you are breathing, your purpose is to bring you back to center focus. Remember, it's only to get information from you. And guess what? You're the keeper of the information because the experience is yours. The second thing that I would recommend for you to do is let me go back again and say, familiarize yourself with your experience. In layman's terms, know what you're good at and know how you're going to express yourself. So practice, stand in the mirror and practice, practice, practice. Normalize yourself, normalize the experience. So therefore, that when you hear the question relative to, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Can you tell us a little bit about previous experience that you've had? That your brain is kind of normalized to answer that question. If you stumble over a word, nobody's perfect. Nobody speaks perfect. And if they do, they've rehearsed it And I can guarantee you, more than likely, there is a lot of coaches and coaching that is going on with that. So don't beat yourself up if you fumble up a word. So my next viewer asked, how do you know when you got the job? I like to say, and this viewer is coming from Vermont. I like to say that when you know you got the job is when you know you left it on the table. You know you left everything on the field. You gave it your best. You know what you got. So one of the things that you can kind of tell is this is not a complete list. This is just some things that you can kind of tell. When the employer asks you to make sure that they have everything that they need for you in an interview. That's one. Making sure that they have all of your references, that they have a copy of your resume, that you've completed the application before you leave. Now, that may not necessarily every single time mean that you got the job, but more than likely, if they are showing that type of interest in you, more than likely they're going to follow back up with a follow-up, possibly a second interview, so that they can get additional information about you. If the interview goes from the questions and more to asking questions in regards to a fit, like how do you handle situations, personality questions. Those are questions that are leading to see if you are a fit for the organization. How would you fit? So a hiring manager may ask questions in regards to scenarios such as how would you handle things if. And so again, that's not a comprehensive list, but those are good indicators. And I like to go back to the old you know it when you know it is by the handshake. If there is a handshake that is done, more than likely, if it's a firm handshake, it's firm for a reason. And so you can kind of rest with that. So now that again, let me be clear. That is not necessarily a exhaustive list, but those are some good indicators that I have employed and have kind of rested with when I've gone on job interviews, and those generally ended with me a yes for the job. Well, that's all. I wanted to spend just a little time with you to kind of respond to a few email responses and questions that I have. If you have questions that you would like me to answer, please feel free to email me at therooom@mymhf.org. I'll be sure to respond to you and to respond to your responses. All right. Until next time, thank you so much. This is Sherreccia. I'm signing off for now. Take good care. Bye-bye.